like watches. You've noticed that every time somebody walks by you, your eyes seem to gravitate towards their wrist to check out what kind of timepiece they're sporting. You find yourself online at different watch retailers, authorized dealers, and even some discount watch sources out there in search of a piece that might go well with your wardrobe. You keep trying to save enough money for a new watch, even though you already have a few at home that you cycle through weekly. You've even caught yourself admiring watches on different TV shows and movies, and you imagine yourself wearing such timepieces one day. Well, you're now on your way to becoming a watch collector, or an enthusiast. That being said, you have to ask yourself, what kind of watch person are you? More importantly, do you want to be a watch collector or a watch enthusiast? Because there is a difference. So, today I'm going to go over some of the basics of watch collecting, in my opinion, and some of the basics of being a watch enthusiast. There is a difference. Some people are very specific when they collect. They want certain brands, certain models, certain particular timepieces. They don't want to settle for an homage watch that won't make them happy. They need to have a watch that is going to keep its value or be valuable in the future. Some people will only wear certain brands. Some people will only wear certain styles. And then there's some people that just really enjoy the hobby of having a variety of different watches to go with anything in their wardrobe. So let's go over some of those things. So you have your everyday wear, your Timex, your Seiko, your Armatron, your G-Shock, your Tag. They're practical, they're functional. Something like a Seiko 5, whether on a strap, a leather band, or the bracelet that it came on. Something that you can wear regularly. And you've got your dive watches. Obviously, first one that comes to mind is the Rolex Submariner, the Seiko SKX 007, a Tuna, a Samurai, the Omega Seamaster, the Vostok Amphibian, and, dare I say it, the Invicta Pro Diver. And you got people that are very brand specific. They pick one brand, they like it, they stick to it. And one brand that's very much like that is Seiko. There are people that live and die by Seiko, and they will only wear Seiko. And hey, that's awesome. For me, I find that that's a little tricky because it isolates you to the whole watch world. There's so many wonderful pieces out there and so many companies that I could never myself see myself doing that. But hey, some people do it. Then there's your fashion watch. Now, this one in particular is a Fossil. A little bit better made than some of the other really inexpensive fashion watches out there that don't hold their value. They don't have real value. They're practical and fun to wear. They come in all sorts of colors. And they're very pretty and chic, but they're usually pretty cheap. So, then of course, you have your vintage pieces. Anything old that looks old or actually is old, like a 1980s Hamilton, maybe something even older, something like from the 50s or the 40s. Illinois Watch Company, Bulova, Tissot. Some are expensive, hard to find, hard to maintain. Then, of course, you have your high-end pieces and luxury pieces. A couple brand names that I can think of right off the bat. Hublot, Artemis Piguet, Piaget, Patek. Hey, if you've got the money for it, go for it. Notice nothing came around because I don't have those. And, of course, you got people that are all about quantity over quality. They just buy a watch because they got to have a watch. Something that they like, something that's practical and easy to throw on the wrist and isn't going to break the bank, but hey, that looks pretty good. Why not? And then you have your enthusiast. And the thing about enthusiasts is that they don't really care so much about the brand. They're just happy to have a wide variety of watches, a collection that means something to them. That's, I think, where I fall into. I used to be more of a watch snob, and I would only wear certain brands. And then life took some turns, and I realized that I didn't need all those Started giving away some watches. I sold some watches, and I started over. And now I'm more about practicality. So, my main suggestion to anyone that's interested into getting into this relationship with these watches, and yes, I did just call it a relationship, because it's more than just collecting, okay? You find yourself that you want to learn about these watches. You look up info. You watch videos so you know what movements in them, what kind of complications there are, what kind of materials are being used, and whether there's resale value in them. My main suggestion is that you take your time and really think about what makes you happy, because there's really no wrong way to collect unless you're collecting counterfeits. And in that sense, you're just wasting money. Now, I've said this in almost every one of my videos, and I'll continue to say it. If a watch makes you happy, and you can afford it, and it doesn't put a financial strain on you, well then, get it. Some watches hold sentimental value, and you'll never part with them. Sure, you'll change the straps around, make them look a little different every now and then, but when you got your dad's watch, that means a lot more than, let's say, a Rolex. Now, to me, and this is just what I think, you should always have a beater watch. A watch that can get hit, you can wear with anything at any given time, it can take the hits and keeps ticking. It can look cool, or it can just be a simple watch. I think beaters are amazing. So, with that, I want to go over a couple of watches that I have in my collection that kind of goes over what people say you should have in your collection. And I will tell you, in my opinion, I'm going to clear this up. In my opinion, you should have a diver watch, a G-Shock, a dress watch, a field watch, a pilot's watch or a chronograph, and a beater watch. So, that being said, let's get into mine. My dive watch. I have several of these in different styles, but they're all Invicta Pro divers. Best value for money, even with all the hate they get. I've had this one for over 6 years. It still ticks. It still runs. I've gone swimming with it. I've made videos about it. I have thought about doing some torture videos on it, freeze it, put it back in regular wear. This watch is a great watch for the value that you get, for the money you pay. It's awesome. So that's my dive watch. Yes, you can wear it with jeans. You can dress it up a little bit, but it's just a great watch. Now, you got to have a dress watch. I have several. Okay, I'm gonna for the sake of this one, I'm gonna say a dress watch on a leather band, and that is this one right here. Okay, this is a beautiful Romilly, beautiful back exhibition case, and you can wear this anywhere on the night on town. It's a really pretty watch. So that covers my dress watch on a leather band. What about a dress watch on a metal band? Well, I can use my Citizen. I've done videos on this. This is my old man watch. Throw this on with a suit, throw it on with a nice pair of khakis, go to work, go to the park, go to church. It's going to get looked at, and I know it's a great watch. Now, what about a field watch? Well, some people say that the Hamilton khaki is the way to go. Sure, they start at about $200 and something and go up to over $500. But what if you can get one that does almost exactly the same thing for a fraction of the cost? The Bertucci. This one in particular, titanium, great strap, and it actually can tick off my beater watch. That sounded terrible, but my beater watch checkbox, because it can take a licking and keep ticking. This is a killer watch for less than $130. Okay, so your field watch. Now, your G-Shock. You gotta get a G-Shock. If you are a watch enthusiast, a watch collector, and you don't have a G-Shock in your lineup, then you're missing out. This is the DW-9052. I've had this watch for about 5 years. I love it. I don't know if you can tell there, but it's really dirty. I use this to go shooting. I use this to go play airsoft. I use this to work around the house. I ride motorcycles with it. This thing has gone everywhere, and it is strong like a horse. Gotta have a G-Shock in your collection. Need I say more? Now, I think that a pilot's watch is a great addition to your collection just because they have a different look, okay? And I have a really inexpensive pilot's watch that I just swapped out the band on it. And this watch in particular does have a working chronograph. And as you see, big numbers, just like a pilot watch. And it's just such a nice watch. Textured dial, mineral crystal. So yeah, it's going to take a licking. This is just a really great watch, and I think it looks awesome on the black strap. Originally it came on a light tan one, but I changed it out just to give it a different look, and it looks amazing. So, pilot watch. Now, chronograph. If you like chronographs, I particularly have several, but this is my Seiko, which I love. I recently got this. This is a Seiko 4T5300B0. I put it on this Dryden Watch Company strap, and I call it my Panda, even though it's a reverse Panda, but I love this watch. Really, really nice watch. Then, what about if you have, or if you're fortunate enough to have a vintage watch? Well, like I said, I do. And I have this awesome Hamilton from the late 70s, early 80s. I bought it for 50 cents at a garage sale. Kept it in my collection for a long time. Put a new battery in it, and it is awesome. Yes, it's got wear, and it's just, I love wearing this watch. It's so easy to wear, and the dial is amazing. I love that textured dial. It's like linen almost, and you can see the dates going on there. So I think with that, you can kind of get an idea of a pretty well-rounded watch collection for an enthusiast. Now, I do have a lot more watches, but just the basics. Dive watch, chronograph, field watch, pilot's watch, vintage watch, beater, G-Shock, and a nice dressy watch on a band. I think that just rounds off a really, really great collection. You can have all these watches and wear them, for different occasions, and you'll always have something new to do with them. Personally, I am going to continue to get certain watches. There's a couple different field watches that I do want, and a couple more dive watches that I want. But as you can tell right there, I have a little bit of everything, and I'm a happy person. I don't really care what other people think about my collection. I know everybody says I should have an SKX 007. Maybe eventually I'll get one of those. Everyone says I have to have a SARB. Maybe I'll get one of those eventually. For me, it's more about having a well-rounded collection that I like. And that's what I've got here. The one thing that I do find interesting is that most of them are blackface. So, I really enjoy the blackface look on a watch. It's kind of clean and clear and really just helps. So anyway, that's part one. Next time I come back, I'm going to be talking about things that I think you should get into your collection just to round it out a little more. But that's today's episode. If you like the video, please subscribe, share this with your friends, hit the like button, and if you haven't already figured out, we're doing a giveaway for 4 of these Ritchie strap bands that I've got, these NATO straps. When we get to 100 subscribers, I will be giving one of these away to 4 different people. 4 straps, 4 winners. So make sure you subscribe. Thanks, and see you next time.